Hello, my name is Shannon. We're coming to you from C.A.R.E., the Center for Abuse and Rape Emergencies in Punta Gorda. This is Kira, our new volunteer coordinator. Today we are talking about teen dating violence. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, the whole month of February. So we're going to talk about characteristics of teen dating violence, healthy, unhealthy relationships, and kind of what we see in our outreach and awareness programs that we do here in the community. You have teenagers.
I do.
So what are the sort of things that you see in teenagers and their relationships?
So I have 4 teenagers. I have 2 boys, 2 girls. I was asking my daughter, who's 15, what she thinks about teen dating violence, and primarily she sees it as only physical abuse.
Right.
There's aspects to it.
Mm-hmm.
She had someone who was interested in her, and he was, as they put it, blowing up the phone, texting her constantly, and she says, "Oh, he just misses me.
Mm-hmm.
He just wants to be with me." Or if she talks to another boy, "Oh, he doesn't want anyone to be interested." And she sees that as that he's really enamored with her, rather than these little signs that are starting the foundation of being possessive and
Right.
controlling and isolating.
Right.
And she doesn't spend as much time with her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wants her complete and undivided attention.
Right.
And I've tried to explain to her, with February being the awareness month and it being Know Your Worth is their theme.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to tell her that she needs to know her worth in every situation, whether it be with her friends,
Mm-hmm.
boyfriend, parents, that she has to know her value. And that when he undermines any little bit of that and tries to control her life, when he acts jealous or possessive or controlling, that's not just because he's enamored.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a potential for that to escalate.
Right, yeah.
Right.
I think it's important for teens to be able to recognize red flags and what red flags are. When we go out into the community and we do a group called Compass, we talk to a group of girls who have, drug addiction issues or have experienced some type of trauma, and trying to explain red flags to them can sometimes be difficult because they don't see it as
Right.
red flags. But we talk about red flags, like if your partner is acting more of like your parent than your significant other, that's a warning sign. If they're controlling where you go, what you do, that I guess you would consider that definitely a warning sign, red flag. If they don't like when you spend time with other people, that could be a warning sign. A lot of people in these relationships, they start to use technology to abuse their partners, become controlling, sharing passwords, going through the phone, that type of thing. So do you think that's something that you see in teenagers?
Oh yeah. I mean, my kids wouldn't give me their password to save my life, but if she's turning it over because he needs to know who's on her friends list and who she's communicating
Right, yeah.
with, and she just willingly turns it over, I mean, that scares me. I try to let her know that she can't isolate. She has to let me know what's going on. She has to let her friends know what's going on, and that abuse thrives in silence.
Oh, yeah,
and it's about
absolutely.
breaking that silence. But you're right, it's hard to explain red flags, especially when she's new to relationships and she's all caught up in that honeymoon stage, and not realizing that there's that cycle.
Right.
Honeymoon, then it starts to get tension, then maybe there's abuse, and then there's apology, and it's good for a while, and then it starts to escalate again, things like that. But yeah, that whole thing with monitoring and how many times can one person call or text, I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, her friends don't like him either, which is another red flag.
Yeah, that's definitely a red
Yeah,
flag.
yeah, right. So, I mean, I don't know how much say I get there. I try to convey, but I'm usually not who she wants to hear from. And when her friends give her that heads up, it gets through a little bit more, because they see stuff and they're around her more often than I am because of school. And so definitely that. But I absolutely, the red flags and making them aware of them and actually having her or anyone hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure you see. Yeah, I mean, there's probably tons of different red flags that you can come up with. I mean,
Yeah, definitely. And I think as kids, under the age of 18, they begin to develop these behaviors, and then they bring them into their adult relationships, which ultimately are domestic violence relationships. It's the same thing as teen dating violence, except we call it something different because they don't live together, and they're just teens. So these kids are experiencing what adults are experiencing as abuse victims, and that's very concerning.
Yeah.
Because we see victims all the time, and they're so traumatized. They have PTSD, and just imagining a child going through that it can be very concerning.
Right.
For
Absolutely.
sure.
And I think what's important, what you said too, is that first relationship, that first love, can condition every relationship that they have in the rest of their lives. It'll impact how they view relationships.
Mm-hmm.
If their first one starts off, it sets the pattern up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, definitely, if they're not, it can translate into, like you said, domestic violence as an adult.
Yep, definitely. I think it's important to stress to teenagers what a healthy relationship looks like. A lot of teenagers don't know what a healthy relationship looks like, especially coming from backgrounds where they live in poverty or, circumstances like that. They see their parents who are in abusive relationships, and they think that's what is okay.
Right.
And when we go to these programs like Boys and Girls Club, when we talk to middle schoolers, they think that that's what a relationship is. And we talked to this girl at Compass, and she explained her relationship as they would beat on each other, and she seemed like that was okay, and it's because that's what she saw her parents do. So it's important to break the cycle and helping them understand what healthy relationships look like. Somebody who encourages success, individuality, somebody who is okay with you being yourself, treats you as an equal, or you're allowed to have your own friends, own family, somebody who encourages you to follow your dreams, and that respects you and whatever boundaries that you may have. So it's important for them to know what that looks like. So
where they feel safe, they need to feel safe. They're not walking on eggshells.
Right.
There's not that up and down of 1 minute nice, 1 minute attack mode. And they should feel like the individuality is another thing. They should have interests outside of that relationship, outside of the person they're with.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
If they're limiting who they're in contact with or what they're doing, I mean, there's a reason for that. That's just the indoctrination of isolating and pulling them away.
Right.
So they can control.
The teenagers see that infatuation as love.
Yes.
So that's where it gets blurry for them,
Yeah.
I think. So obviously you can see that teens experience a lot of the same things as people in domestic violence relationships do. We offer a 24-hour crisis hotline, counseling, safety planning. Our contact number for domestic violence is 941-627-6000. We have a text hotline, 941-499-8534. And we also have an online chat feature where you can go online and chat with us at careflorida.org, carefl.org. We also have Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. You can connect with us any way like that. We would like to thank Florida Council Against Sexual Violence. And I think that is it. All right. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.